One of the oddest figures that America has ever produced, in my opinion, is Hugh Hefner. Um, Hugh Hefner and his, who became famous and among some quarters infamous for his Playboy magazine. He is a very complex figure. But one thing we need to point out is for those who criticize him, there's a market for his magazine. You don't like the magazine? Many people, mostly, but not entirely men, buy that magazine. And they buy it regularly. There are also some women who buy it or at least look at it. I actually talked to a lesbian who said she preferred the pictures in Playboy to those in On Our Backs, a lesbian publication. Now, he's also been, well, this whole thing about his being the father of the so-called sexual revolution, I think is nonsense. He's one guy. He published a magazine with women who looked normal, okay, didn't look like stereotypical whores. And he published a very popular magazine. But is he really that powerful? Anyway, he was criticized by conservatives. He was criticized by feminists. Most infamously, or most famously, Gloria Steinem went undercover at the Playboy Club to talk about what the conditions were like there and to say that they weren't good. Okay, now there's been a lot of stories have gotten out about Hefner. There's a couple stories that he may have gotten into bestiality. It's pretty gross. But the thing about that is, it's entirely possible that that would happen with a man who immersed himself in pictures of nude women. I mean, he's constantly looking at and interacting with beautiful nude women or women that he perceives as beautiful. It's possible that he became so jaded that he had to do something grotesque to get aroused. That can happen. And the question of whether he was good or bad for women, I don't know. I can't say one way or another, but I can say that as a woman, I feel very confused by Hugh Hefner and by the things that he did. Of course, Playboy was a good magazine in a certain sense. It did have legitimate authors. I read a Joyce Carol Oates story in Playboy. It did, and I think I read something by Arianna Huffington in Playboy. So in that sense, it was a good magazine, but of course it was mostly bought for the pictures of nude women. So I really don't know how to react to Hugh Hefner. But I think he is a puzzling figure. But I also think that he is, to some extent, not a molder as much as a reflection of society as a whole. He got to be among the super wealthy because people, usually men, bought the magazine. That's capitalism, folks, at work. Hope you liked hearing that.